Final run of the calibration procedure in some detail. It's pretty straightforward actually. With the line on, press instrument preset and then recall 8, recall 8 gives you the calibration waveform once you made sure you've actually got the lead connected to the calibration socket. And then all you do is you adjust this pot down here, the preset pot here, for minus 10 dB, which is marked here. Adjust that for minus 10 dB. It's pretty good on now. Just tweaking it now so you can get it to minus 10 as possible. There we go. Okay, that's done. Then recall 9. And what it gives you then is a very slow trace. Has it recalled it? Recall 9. Mr. Assistant, instrument reset and recall 9 again, because that should give you a trace. There's the trace there, just forming on the screen. And that's, you adjust the frequency offset this time. So you get the highest waveform possible, and they interact with each other. You can see now, you adjust this pot it's very sensitive. Get it as high as possible, like that. Okay, that calibration procedure is performed, and then what we do is we run the error correction routine, and that's shifted function and W. Now it's the capital W, not the lowercase w, which I kept pressing before and thinking, why isn't this working? And it runs the calibration procedure you saw previously. Takes about a minute to run. Running a lower sweep. Now I've got the limiter back in the circuit, and sure enough, all it was the lead wasn't suitable. I've used a proper BNC lead and it's absolutely fine now. So, you know, it's always worth thinking about that. If you think you can't get your head around why something's not working, step back and think, you know, is it something wrong with the test equipment I'm measuring, or is it something wrong with the lead, or the connectors aren't very good, or is an earth fault, something like that? It's always worth thinking a few steps back before you just condemn the piece of equipment you're trying to calibrate or fix. Yeah, because it could be something quite obvious. And sure enough, this cable was, or the previous cable, which was an old scope probe lead, obviously had some resistance to it, or was too high capacitance or too low capacitance, or had some strange effect on the response of the output of the calibrator, but working fine now. So that's the calibration run performed. So in theory, the spectrum analyzer is in perfect working order. That concludes really the videos on this spectrum analyzer. Hope it was interesting, and I hope that if you get a similar instrument, you can find some of this information useful.